Well, I'm here to make an informal complaint about an advert that I saw coming up on one of these videos I was about to watch. I'm not saying all the advertising, I can take any of the advertisement they got, but this one advertisement that forces you to watch it, I find to be inappropriate. As you can probably tell, siete. Yeah. I am a person of addiction. I'm very prone to addiction. I don't know if you'd know it by looking at me, but I have what I would call a gambling addiction. I never gambled growing up, ever since second grade, when the Pittsburgh Steelers were playing the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl, and the Steelers were my brother's favorite, so I was supposed to like the Steelers. Second grade, fourth grade. And there was a kid, Ken Nowicki, I believe it was. He was walking around the class, taking bets on the Super Bowl on Friday afternoon. And he was betting a quarter that Dallas would win. Boy, he could have raked it in. But he's betting a quarter to anybody that would bet him. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, the Steelers, my second brother says they're the best. And I just felt like, oh, I wanted to bet. I did. I didn't know what betting was, but I wanted it. And so I'll take it. I bet him a quarter that the Super Bowl winner would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I would win a quarter. So over the weekend, we went out to my grandma's house. We'd do that on Sunday in Johannesburg. Not my grandpa. He was my step-grandpa, my foster grandpa, whatever you call it, because my mom wasn't his. It was because he was off to war and Grandma was screwing old Jack down the road. So my mom is old Jack. She was born prematurely. After Grandpa got back from the war. Probably were using condoms in the beginning for a long while, and then when they just couldn't take it anymore, and it was close enough that it could be, confused as being my foster grandpa's daughter. They just decided they needed a little more and stopped using the condoms to get the real feel and the whole deal, And so Grandma got pregnant by old Jack. And he would come and visit my mom and take her to the store sometimes, but nobody really knew it. So we're out there, and they've got the Super Bowl on, and I'm watching the Super Bowl because I'm gonna win a quarter. I've gotta watch the damn thing. And here we are in like the third quarter of the game, and it was not for sure who was gonna win yet. And my mom comes over. We're at my uncle's cabin right next door to my grandma and grandpa's cabin. My mom comes over and says, hey, we gotta go. And so my brothers and my sister and I'm like, we can't go. I don't want to go. And she's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, and we're in the car. And I'm just like, I don't want to go. And she's like, why is it you want to stay so bad? And I said, because I bet Ken Nowicki a quarter that the Steelers would win, and I gotta know. And she looked at me and she said, if you lose this bet. I am not giving you a quarter. And I said, I was about to get my legs broke by Ken Nowicki. His brother's a cop these days. I was like, oh, and I had no idea what the results were until the next morning when we came in to school, and I walked into the class, and there was Ken Nowicki. I said it the Polish way. He's giving quarters out to people, and I said, oh, they won. And so I got my quarter, and I said, I will never bet again. And I didn't. Played bingo a couple times with my mom, but I was standoffish. I even won. I win at bingo all the damn time. It's in the blood. All the time when I play, I've probably played bingo 5 times in my life, but I won the grand prize both times at like Drag Queen Bingo down in Royal Oak or wherever the hell it is when we got invited to play. I took the traveling shoe salesman job, and my supervisor, he went with me the first time I went up to Reno. I covered Northern California and Western Nevada. Yeah, and so we'd do Reno. I was up there for a week. I'd go up there and stay a week. He went the first time, and he said, come on, we're going to the casino. I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, come on. And I said, okay, we had dinner, went to the casino, and I went upstairs. They had virtual reality there. It was brand new. And I got to be in the thing, and it made you dizzy. I was like, I'm looking around. I don't think I got anything accomplished. But I'm just walking around the casino. I don't gamble. Finally, he came and got me, and he says, you are going to learn to play blackjack. I said, I'm sorry, I don't gamble. He said, nope. You're going to learn to play blackjack. Come on, sit down. A's like my boss, so he thinks. And so I said, well, I better. And I sat down, and it's just 21. And I was like, ooh, I got this glowing sensation in my chest right here. It doesn't, every time it glows, and I go, and I'm playing. And I learned to play. And I learned the odds and all these things and how you can double down and split them, and you just fucking, I got enough. And that's all I did when I went to Reno. I got accused of going to hookers once because I overslept an appointment, and I didn't know that I had it. I didn't see it on the calendar, so my supervisor called me, and he said the guy, actually, the phone rang, and I picked it up and hung it up because I thought it was room service, like some shit wake-up call, and I wasn't getting up. I'd just gotten to bed. I gambled 17 hours in a row in Reno one night. That was probably the night. 17 hours. Got out of a meeting, corporate yard thing, went to the casino, 17 hours. And I was just like, oh, my eyes burning, but I never left the fucking table except to pee. Well, if you're going to be a good addict and your Zippo runs out of fluid, I didn't fill it this morning, you got to have a backup. You got to have a Zippo in your pocket at all times. Flint could go out. You have one in the bottom anyway in the cotton. It might fall. You lose it. They're tricky. You need a light. And you never know when you're going to need to burn at church. Always have a backup. And I hung it up, and it rang again. I picked up what? Then it was my supervisor saying, where are you? You missed the meeting. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. There was no meeting. He said, that guy called here, said you weren't here. He says, you went to the hookers. And I was like, what? No. I didn't even go to the strip clubs when I go up there for work. I gambled. And the thing is, I don't gamble to win. I think there are people out there that gamble to win, and it might even be that women are more prone to gamble to win than men. Sort of the T gene thing, the thrill, the testosterone that goes along with it, the will to power. I'm not that guy. I'm a guy that just likes to play, and I will play as long as I possibly can until all the money's gone. That's how I do it every time. There were only a couple times in Reno where I said, I'm gonna go. And I collected my chips without running out and leaving the table. And I go to the cashier and check them out. But on the way by, there are slot machines. And I'd say, I'd throw a couple in the slot machine. And back to the table I went with my winnings. Well, not even my winnings. Yeah, because I usually start with $20. So my winnings, and I would lose it all before I left. And even one time, I made it all the way outside to the taxi cab line, but it was so late, there were no cabs just sitting waiting. They didn't expect to be anybody around. And so I said, well, no cabs, I can go play a game of blackjack. And I went back in and lost everything I'd walked out with. That's the kind of gambler I am. I am an addict, and I quit. I did. I quit. Just that I never lived right next to a casino is a blessing to me, because I had to go out of my way to them. I quit. And then when Victoria and I got together, she goes and she stands behind me. She doesn't sit at the table. She doesn't play. She doesn't know how. She watched me. We've been twice. And I'm like, the first time I staved it off as long as I could. I'm like, I explained to her, I have a problem. I have a highly addictive personality, and gambling is something that could be the ruin of me. But we went. Both times sit through one shoe, roll out. I'd never seen a five. When I cashed out on Halloween, when we went to Greektown, the guy at the table says, you want me to clean that up for you? Because I had piles of chips in front of me, and I keep them stacked neatly in an order, 10 high, so you know what you got there. But and I have those that I play with and those that I'm keeping over here. I always go into those that I keep over here, and I lose it. But the shoe ended the deck. He had to shuffle. And me knowing who I am, I said, we got to go. Because you may know the odds, but playing the odds doesn't mean you win. Because the cards do what they want to. The odds are all about probability. And there's no odd in that probability that says you can't lose. And so I said, and he said, clean that up for you? And I said, yeah, sure, yes, please. So he counted all that fast stuff, and there was one like pink chip there. I'm like, and some other chips. I have to cash it out at the cashier. But I'm like, that doesn't seem enough. I'm thinking, I thought I must have had more than that. And I picked that pink chip. I said, what is this? I've never seen one in my life. And he said, well, that's a $500 chip. He must have thought I was a shark. That whole hand, I think I only lost 2 hands, and I just kept building and building. We didn't put much money down. I didn't start with much. I don't. It was fantastic. Then we went up to Petoskey. We gambled there. And she got cut off. Usually I'm the one who gets cut off when we're out together. We're not even drunk. They just think we're having too much fun, and they think we're drunk. You get a drunk state. That's what happens to me when I gamble and drink. I can have 2 beers, and it feels like I'm just loaded. That glow combines with the alcohol, and it's you could have had 10 beers for what people know. You're just so excited, and I even feel drunk. Won there too. Just cleaned the house. And both times coming out, I said, this this doesn't mean we're coming back next weekend. It's a treat for us every twice so far over more than 5 years. I am an addict, and I'm not a recovering gambler until I'm at the table. That's when I feel right. I don't feel a thing as long as it's not near me. And this is a thing. We don't go. She knows. She's just like me, I'm sure. We've never spent any time going to the casinos. We keep it out of our minds with great ease. There's no reason for us to think about it. And now I'm going to watch some goddamn video on YouTube that came up. I'm like, I guess I'll look at that. And so I hit it, and one of these videos comes up that's 15 seconds long. That's as long as one of my shorts. And that's enough to fucking fry your brain. And it's 15 seconds long, and it's a video will play after ad. And it's FanDuel. It's a gambling online fucking thing. And they force me to watch a video about gambling. Now, me, I'm barely okay. I'm okay enough that I was pissed off that they're pressing this on people. It's not about me. There are people out there that are struggling harder than me, that live right next door. Or maybe the only job they can get is at the casino. And after work, they do their best to walk out. And they've been successful so far. Suddenly you're seeing FanDuel forcing 15 seconds of look at how much fun it is to gamble. Hey, we'll give you free credits if you come sign up now. And oh, well, it's free. I might as well play what they're giving me for free. And all of a sudden, well, I still got money in my fucking checking account. And I can win this back. And I still got money in my savings account. And well, there's my credit card. And wait a minute, before I do that, I better order another credit card before the credit card companies see how far I am in debt with these credit cards. And so FanDuel is being allowed to ruin people's lives